Hi, I'm Ravi Bista. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to tackle fact and opinion question, that is true, false, yes, no, not given in an IELTS reading passage. Okay, first let us know what is fact and what is opinion. Okay, true and false falls under fact, yes and no falls under opinion. Now, the concept of dealing with fact and opinion, I mean true, false, and yes and no is more or less similar. Okay, before dealing with this type of question, there are a few do's and don'ts that you have to understand when you are tackling true, false, yes, no question. Here we go. So when you are reading, I would want you to keep this in your mind. First, let us talk about don'ts when you're dealing with fact and opinion question. Avoid previous or past knowledge. Means what you know about the matter may be true, and that could be 100% correct. What you know may be true, but the writer or the author may not have used that particular idea in the passage. So, because you already know about it, don't answer on the basis of what you know. So you got to forget, because it's all about finding fact, not about how much you know. Yes, if you know a paragraph, like if the passage is about networking and you may be a computer guy. So if you're a computer programmer, I'm pretty much sure you'll be able to answer 13 or 14 questions out of 13 and 14. You'll be able to answer all those questions, but don't answer simply because you already know an idea. So what's out on that? So that's what it means by previous and past knowledge. It will only help you to read the paragraph quickly because you already have that idea about that particular subject matter or the passage. Number 2, avoid overthinking and assumption. Yeah, that happens. You assume quite a lot. Maybe this, maybe that. That does not work because you just have to read what's there. You got to answer on the basis of what has been written, not the supposition. It could be this, it could be that. No. So don't overthink as well. Don't overanalyze. Getting me? Okay. Another one. Avoid answering on the basis of matching words. Yes. One thing you have to understand is, in order to find that particular slot of idea, you're going to scan the words. You're going to find the synonyms of the keywords, head words. But you're not going to write answer simply because you match the keywords. Matching keywords will help you to trace the proximity of your answer, but that's not the answer. So guys, beware that you don't answer on the basis of matching words. Another one, if the instruction asks you to write true, so the question is like, give true, false, not given. Make sure that you don't write T, or you don't write yes, or you don't write down the initial. Write down true. And the vice means if it is yes, don't write Y, don't write true. And the last, avoid writing the initial F, no, initial N if you are asked to write false, and the vice. So if you are asked to write no, don't write N, don't write false. So these are don'ts. It's true and mandatory that you guys should know these things. And do's. So what are the do's? The first thing that you're going to do is, let me start from here. When you get a question, you don't have to read the whole question or skim all the questions and then fine. If you do, it's fine. If you're fast, that's fine. But if you want to save time, read at least 2-3 questions at a time, and that will help you to find the answer, locate the answer quickly. But it may not be true for everybody. What works for you, follow that. You can read at least 2-3 questions at a time, because sometimes you might be reading question number 1 and you might not find keyword. So you're going to waste a lot of time finding those keywords. So just read 1, 2, 3. If you find the keyword to 3, your question number 2 would be above 3, 1 would be above 2. So that way you'll be saving your time. And now, when you're locating, when you say locate synonyms, that means scan. Locate synonym or synonyms of the keyword in the paragraph and read around its periphery. And when you read around its periphery, read carefully So when you do that, you gotta match keywords, synonyms, but decide the answer on the basis of meaning. After you find the keywords, headwords, match the meaning. So it's all about matching meanings, information. And it says, read the instruction carefully to know if you have to write true, false, or yes, no. And for not given, don't write NG. Okay, after the short do's and don'ts, now let us move further to understand when do we write true, on what condition we write true or yes. It says, if the statement agrees or confirms with the meaning in the passage. That means, first you're going to read a question and you have to match the meaning of the question. Is it similar with the meaning of the passage, in the passage? If it's similar, if it is agreeable, if it is matchable, the answer is true, or you could say yes. If the statement contradicts or is opposite to the meaning in the passage, you write false or no. Now, there's slight difference between contradictory and opposite, but again, you could take it as a synonyms. Now, opposite is like fast, slow. Contradict is, I wish to go to fast food restaurant. I wish to eat at my friend's home. So this is not opposite, this is contradictory. In any case, it's either false or no. And not given. Most of the time, you're confused with false and not given. So what is the thin line differences or difference between false and not given? Now, if the idea is unmatchable, if the idea is opposite, then you go with false. But in not given, let's understand two underlying causes. If the statement, or when I say if the statement, I mean the issue presented in the text or the subject matter is not mentioned in the passage. That means sometimes maybe the question talks about cat, purchasing a cat. Now, if the text does not mention cat at all, that's pretty much simple not given. But you hardly get that kind of exercises. This is confusing. If subject is mentioned but does not provide further information, means another condition clause would be the passage talks about cat, the question talks about cat. But the difference is maybe text says, I like pink cat. The text says, I like pink cat. And the question says, let's say it says, there are many pink cats. That means it says, I like pink cats. There are many pink cats. Means both talk about the same color of cats. But the difference is, the passage says, I like. Let's say the question says, I like, whereas the passage does not say anything about liking. So that is not given strategy. Okay, let us use this principle and deal with the matter. Here we go. So the question is at the beginning, because when you read a question, first you have to understand the question and find if the meaning is similar to text. So I have Q means question, T means text. It says, first let us understand this. In several ways, people can benefit from the internet. Now, what is this question about? What is the meaning? Let's understand the meaning. It says, people benefit from internet. And it says, in several ways. So, the core meaning is that people benefit from internet in several ways. Now, what you're going to find is, does the passage talk about that people benefit from internet? If it says so, that's true. If the passage says people don't benefit, that's false. If the passage does not talk about internet at all, not given. Or it does not talk about whether it benefits or not, that is not given. Now let's see what the passage or the text says. Internet has changed. Yeah, it does talk about internet. So that means the question and the text both have the subject internet. Now, you found the keyword internet does not mean that it is true. Please don't match on the basis of keywords. Don't decide the answer on the basis of matching keywords. Let's go with the meaning. Internet has changed world in many ways. Now see, if you see internet is matchable. Many ways, several ways is matchable. But the idea is totally different. The idea is not unmatchable. The idea is completely different because the text says internet has changed. Now don't assume that change means benefit. So if you overthink that way, overanalyze that way, you're going to write true and you're going to get answer incorrect. So don't overthink, don't overanalyze. The point is, I would say 95% of the matter is matchable. That does not mean that it is true. But the idea, the core meaning is totally different because it says it has changed the world and it says it has benefit. So the matter is totally different and hence this is not given. Now let's go with the second one. First, let's again understand question. It says animals. Oh no, it says it is inhumane to test animals for scientific experiment as believed by scientists. So it's the belief of the scientists. What do scientists believe? So scientists believe what? They believe that it is inhumane to test animals for scientific experiment. This is what the scientists believe. Now, let's go to the text and find out whether it is inhumane or not, or whether the scientists believe that it's inhumane to test animals for scientific purpose. It says here, majority of the scientists, it does talk about scientists, see, believe. So this matter is matchable. Animals should not be used for scientific purpose. Now, if you see again here, you see 95% of things are matchable. But what is that is completely different is the text does not anywhere mention whether scientists say that it's humane or inhumane. It does not give an idea. Here it says scientists have given idea that it is inhumane. That's an idea. That's an opinion. But here it does not give any opinion. So that means the question says something that the passage does not have information about it. So again, what is this condition? Not given. Because it nowhere tells that it is human or inhuman. It does not give opinion. Okay. Now let's go with another one. Although Ross was a victim of cancer, it says, it talks about that Ross is a cancer patient. He died of a different cause. So what is the meaning of the sentence? It says that, let's say if the cause is X, and cancer is Y. Let's say Ross is a Y patient, means he's a cancer patient, but he died of X. So this X could be any cause. So let us find in the text, first let us find how Ross died. That's what you're going to find out. So it says here, Ross was a cancer patient. Yes, see, this is matchable. Ross was a cancer patient is as Ross was a victim of cancer. It's similar. But he died in a car accident. So how did Ross die? It says car accident. Means he did not die of cancer, he died of car accident. Now see here, it says, although Ross was a victim of cancer, he died of a different cause. Now this is actually trying to say he didn't die of cancer, other cause. So what is the other cause? Car accident. So this statement, this is true. Now you might argue, it does not talk about car accident. It does not have to, because the meaning is same. He died of. Now even if it was not a car accident and if the text had another cause, that would still mean that it is true, because another cause, different cause could be anything. Okay, now let's go with this. The sales record shows demand of laptop in educational institutes and not for personal use. Now, what does this mean? It says this sales record, it said something. What did it say? That these educational institutes and not personal use. Not this, but this. If this is X, this is Y. So it says the sales record shows the demand of laptop in educational institutes. Means the sales record presents that the demand was in educational institutes, not for personal use. Now let us find out what the sales record says in the passage. It says the sales of laptops, say it is again similar, this portion is agreeable, indicate is shows that there has been a wide demand in the fields of education and less on personal matter. You see, now, educational institute, this is agreeable. It says, and less on personal matter, means wide. Let's say if this is like 90% of them preferred in education institutes, and the remaining 10% they bought it for personal matter. But what does this say? Not for personal use. Means people bought for educational value, not for personal use. So here it says the idea is contradictory. Why? Because here it says less on personal matter does not mean not for personal matter. So the idea is unmatchable. It is disagreeable, contradictory. Hence, the answer to this is false. Okay, let us move a little further. Now, look at this. So you got to write yes, no, not given. So don't write true. It says British families don't have to pay for their child's education. What does this statement say? That means who does not have to pay for their child's education? This British families don't have to pay for their child's education. So now what are you going to find out in the passage? Whether these British families have to pay or not. If they have to pay, the statement is false. I mean, it is no. If it does not talk about whether they have to pay, if it does not at all talk about payment, that is absolutely not given. Okay, now next it says most secondary schools are co-educational. When it said most, let's say if x equals 10, what does most mean? So most would mean, let's say 7. Let's go around with 7. So that means out of 10, 7 schools are co-educational. Let's find out in the passage. So here it says, most children in Britain start primary school at the age of 5, although some may attend nursery or preschool playground before that. Now this part of information has no connection at all to this question. So It does not mention any information here. Now, don't write not given on the basis of this part of information, because you got to read further unless you find whether they have to pay or not. A state school in this country is free. You see, it says a state school in this country, Britain, okay, is free. Means in Britain, the schools provide free education. And education is compulsory for all children. Now see, there is a clue here. It says state school is free and all children, they must attend between the age of 5 and 16. Means it is free and all have to attend, means parents don't have to pay. So this is pretty much inference type of question. Inference means not directly mentioned, but you have to deduce the answer. Now, when I say deduce the answer, check this out. If I say, when I talk about inference or deduction, I mean, it says here, all birds have beaks. Kiwi is a bird. Means if, let's say this is a sentence, it's one sentence, and now if you get the question like this, Kiwi has a beak. Now it says all birds have beaks, Kiwi is a bird. Means if you did this, this two sentences mean Kiwi has a beak. So if you look at this and deduce, this sentence will be true. It does not say whether Kiwi has a beak or not, but if you see what is the writer trying to say, it is trying to tell you that it has a beak. So similarly, this is not a core inference like this, but it's similar. So you have to deduce at times. Now there's a difference between deduction and assumption. Don't use assumption. Now it says here, most secondary schools are co-ed. Let's find out whether 7 out of 10 schools are co-educational. So the point is, first find this keyword. Now let's read further. At the age of 11, most will go to a secondary school known as a comprehensive. These are usually, it says, most will go to secondary school. See, most means 7. These means people. That means when you say A equals B equals C, you could say A equals C in mathematics. Similarly, it says most will go to a secondary school. It says most students will go to secondary school. These are means these schools. Means it means 7 children are going to different, means the schools are co-educational. So most of the schools. So if you deduce this way, it means most secondary schools are co-ed. These are usually co-educational. Now from this particular lines, you know that this is yes statement. This is also yes statement. Okay, I hope you found this video useful. If you have any suggestions or comments, please write us in the comment section in our channel. Until then, bye-bye and have a great